Welcome to Guide Mia. Today we're going to talk about managing files in your Cympha cloud. Every Cympha account comes with a private file area called My Cloud, a place to collect scans, photos, and project files before they belong to any case. This lecture is for anyone on Cympha, clinicians, lab managers, designers, intakers, and by the end you'll know how to open your cloud, what each of its 3 sections shows, and how to create folders, upload files, rename, move, and delete without ever touching a case form. Everything here comes straight from the written guide on Cympha.com, so you can follow along on screen, or just listen now and read later. Let's get started. Let's start with what My Cloud actually is, because the name can mislead. It's a private folder in Cympha's storage, tied to your user account, yours alone. It is not the same thing as your case files. When you attach files to a case, those live inside the case's own storage, and they stay there no matter what you do in your cloud. And nothing in My Cloud is visible to anyone else unless you explicitly share it. Think of it as the desk drawer next to the filing cabinet. The cases are the official records. My Cloud is where you stage, sort, and hand things around before they become official. Here's the one rule you must know before you upload anything. Files in My Cloud are kept for 7 days. That applies to every account. There's no plan that changes it. So treat My Cloud as a working area, not an archive. Keep your originals on your own computer, and if a file matters long-term, attach it to a case. Case files live in the case's own storage and are not swept with your cloud. If a file you uploaded last week has vanished, this rule is why, and nothing is wrong. We'll come back to it in the troubleshooting section because it explains almost every mystery disappearance. Getting there takes one click. Sign in at app.cympha.com and look at the sidebar. The entry labeled My Cloud opens your cloud page. You don't need any special role, and there's nothing to enable. Every account has it from day one. If your account is brand new, the page will be empty. That's expected, and in a minute you'll upload your first file. Before we do, take a moment to see how the page is laid out because it's really 3 different things stacked on one screen, and knowing which section you're in saves a lot of confusion later. The cloud page stacks 3 sections top to bottom. The first is My Cases, a read-only roll-up of your recent cases. Each case shows as a collapsible folder. Click it, and you see the files attached to that case. It's a convenience view. The canonical place to work on a case is still its case detail page. The second section is the My Cloud browser, your private file store, and it's where everything in this lecture happens. Folders, uploads, renames, moves, deletes. The third is My Shares, files you've shared with someone and files someone has shared with you. That's a whole topic of its own, covered in the sharing lecture. And if a section looks empty, no recent cases, no shares yet, it either shows a short, empty state message or doesn't render at all. You haven't lost anything. Step 2. Give your cloud some structure. In the browser toolbar, click New Folder. A small dialog titled New Folder opens with a single field, labeled Folder Name, showing a grayed-out hint reading My Folder. Type a name over it and press Enter, or click Create, and the folder appears immediately in the list with a yellow folder icon. Names accept letters, numbers, spaces, and most punctuation. Just avoid leading or trailing slashes. Folders nest. Click into one, then click New Folder again to make a subfolder. A folder per patient with subfolders per visit is a common pattern. And keep an eye on the breadcrumb at the top left of the browser. It always shows exactly where you are, and clicking any segment jumps you back up. That matters more than it sounds, because uploads land wherever the breadcrumb says you are. Step 3. The uploads. Click Upload in the toolbar, right next to New Folder, and pick one or more files. You can multi-select in your computer's file picker, and Cympha uploads them one after another. While uploads are in flight, the button changes to show how many are uploading and disables itself, so you can't double start. Here's the detail that catches people. Each file lands in the folder you are currently browsing. There is no destination dialog. The file goes wherever the breadcrumb says you are. If it ended up in the wrong place, that's what the move step is for. Now, what can you upload? The supported list is specific, so here it is in full. STL, PLY, and OBJ for surface scans, DICOM, JPEG and PNG for images, zip archives, and GVW treatment plan views. Each row in the browser shows the file size beside its name, in bytes, kilobytes, or megabytes, which is a quick way to spot a scan that didn't export properly before you ever open it. And a subset of those files gets something extra. Anything Cympha recognizes as viewable in 3 dimensions. The mesh formats a plan view plane or zipped in a Cympha Studio project bundle. Gains a view in 3D viewer action in its row menu. that opens the file in the browser viewer, and it has a lecture of its own in this series. Every row in the browser has a three-dot More Actions button on the right. That menu is home base for everything else in this lecture. To rename, open it and choose Rename. A dialog opens with the current name pre-filled. Edit and press Enter, and a toast confirms the change, folder renamed, or file renamed, with the row updating in place. Cympha won't let you rename to an empty string or to the name it already has. One warning before you get tidy. Renaming a folder updates the storage path of every file under it, and a share points at a file stored location. So renaming or moving something you've already shared can break that share. If that happens, it's not lost. Just reshare the file from its new location. Moving works from the same menu. Choose Move, and a small dialog opens with a drop-down labeled Select Folder. The drop-down lists two kinds of destination, the root of your cloud and every top-level folder under it. Pick one, click Move, and the file disappears from the current folder and appears at the destination, with a toast confirming file moved. Notice what the drop-down doesn't list: subfolders. The current Move dialog supports top-level destinations only. So if you need a file deep inside a subfolder, do it in 2 hops. Move it to the top-level parent first, then navigate in and move again. Or sometimes renaming the containing folder is simpler. Folder-level move isn't offered from this menu either. To reorganize a whole folder, create the new parent and move the files in one by one. Now the sharp knife. From the same menu, delete removes a file or folder, and the action is destructive and immediate. There is no confirmation dialog in this iteration of the cloud, so click carefully. The toast that says file deleted or folder deleted is the first and last thing you'll see. Deleting a folder removes every file and every subfolder under it, and there's no trash to fish things out of. Deletion in my cloud is permanent. 2 consolations. First, files attached to a case are not affected. Those live in the case's own storage, and only your cloud copy goes away. Second, since you're keeping originals on your own computer, remember the 7-day rule. You can always upload again. Permanent, but rarely catastrophic. 5 things people run into, and their fixes. If the upload button is grayed out, an upload is usually already in flight. The label shows how many, or your browser blocked the file picker. Wait a moment to retry. If a toast says a file failed to upload, that's usually a transient network blip on the direct-to-storage transfer. Retry the same file. And if it keeps failing on that same file, check that it's under the 500 megabyte browser upload limit and that nothing on your network, like a corporate proxy or VPN, is interfering with uploads. If you deleted a folder by mistake, there is no trash in this iteration, so nothing to restore from. But take the loss in 2 halves. If the folder held case attachments, those still live inside the case itself and are not gone. Only your cloud copy of them is. For files you uploaded from your own machine, you'll need to upload again from your local copy, which is exactly why we keep saying to keep the originals. If a file you uploaded last week is gone, that's the 7-day retention doing exactly what it does. Upload again from your local original. And if a case isn't showing under My Cases, remember that section only shows recent cases. Older ones are still on a regular cases list. You now have an organized private cloud, and it's a launch pad for 3 workflows we cover in their own lectures. You can share any file to a colleague by email, straight from the row menu. You can spin an entire case out of a folder with every file attached automatically. The case form opens pre-seeded, and you only fill in the clinical details. And you can open any viewable file in Cympha Studio right in the browser without attaching it to anything. Each of those has its own written guide and its own lecture in this series. Everything in this lecture is written down, click by click, at cympha.com. Open the doc section and look for Manage Files in your Cympha Cloud. If you found this useful, subscribe. We're walking through every Cympha workflow, one lecture at a time. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.